This video will contain major spoilers for all 4 seasons of Telltale's The Walking Dead. As I said in the first video about Lee, these games are incredible and I don't want to spoil them for anyone. This is your spoiler warning. Clementine is gaming's greatest success story. She has to either leave or shoot Lee, the man that protected her for months and became sort of a father figure to her. In Season 2, she is with Omid and Krista, the 2 people that are known to be alive from the original Season 1 group, because Ben is dead, Lee is dead, and Kenny's whereabouts are unknown, as he was either last seen in the alleyway with Ben or in the hole of the ceiling that he knocked Clem's radio in after rescuing Krista. In the beginning of Season 2, which only takes place a few months after the end of Season 1, as Krista is very clearly visibly pregnant, Clem is in the bathroom getting cleaned up when she's robbed by a girl a few years older than her.
Why you ain't got nothing good? Not like the last people I got. They had all kinds of good shit.
Omid walks in to check on Clementine, but the sound of the door closing alerts the thief, and Omid is shot and killed.
What a bozo.
Krista rushes in and kills Omid's murderer.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean
Oh God. Omi, can you hear me? Omi.
16 months later, Krista and Clementine are on their own with no baby, leading the player to assume Krista had a miscarriage. Krista goes out to go get more firewood, and on her way back she gets jumped by a group of bandits and tells Clementine,
Clementine, run!
Whatever decision the player makes, whether to run or to help Krista, a gunshot is heard, leading to the conclusion that Krista is dead. Now Clementine is completely alone. Later on, after an incident with a dog, Clementine meets a new group. The only 2 people that really matter is Luke, because he's cool and I like him, and Rebecca. Rebecca is the real important one because she is pregnant with AJ, a kid that Clementine will be responsible for all the way to the end of Season 4. Jumping to Episode 2, Kenny's back, and he will become one of the most important characters in Season 2. Jumping even further ahead to the end of Episode 4, Amid the Ruins, Rebecca gives birth to AJ and shortly after dies and comes back as a walker due to a mix of blood loss from giving birth and most likely hypothermia because it's very cold and snowy where they are.
Бурико, остановись! Опусти оружие! Тебе незачем этого делать! Не стреляйте! Я не хочу умирать!
I will if you make me. Don't make me do it! Look at me! Do you hear me? I will...
At the end of Season 2, Episode 5, No Going Back, Kenny and Jane, a character that was met in Episode 3 in Harm's Way, get into a fight because they have different ideas of where to go. Kenny wants to go to Wellington, and Jane wants to go back to House Hardware, the base of the main villain of Season 2, William Carver. A fight breaks out between Jane and Kenny because Jane makes it look like she left AJ to die, and at the end of the fight, either Jane or Kenny or both could be dead. Depending on the ending you get, Clem has a couple of choices. If Clementine goes alone at the end of season 2 because she either left Jane or Kenny or they're both dead, it'll say 9 days later and it'll show her walking through a field where she eventually comes across a horde where she smears herself and AJ and Guts from a walker she cuts open, where she will eventually end up reaching Wellington. If Clementine decides to go with Kenny, 9 days later, her and Kenny will be walking up a hill and Kenny says let's race. And when they reach the top of the hill, they'll realize they finally reached Wellington.
Come on, I'll race you to the top.
Hey!
Come on, Albie, we got this.
You cheated!
Holy shit. We did it, Clem. That's gotta be it.
It's about time.
You were telling me. What are we waiting for? Come on. This one's gonna be the one.
Once they reach the gate of Wellington, there's a problem. Edith, the lady at the gate, just throws them a duffel bag down of supplies and says that they're at full capacity and they can't let anyone in. Kenny begs and pleads with the woman to let them all in, and she says the only two that are going to be able to get in are Clementine and AJ. Clementine then has the choice to either go in or stay with Kenny. If Clementine says that she's staying with Kenny, then Kenny picks up the bag of supplies, they turn the opposite direction of Wellington, and walk forward.
You're as stubborn as a damn mule.
Yeah? Wonder where I got that from.
If Clementine decides to stay at Wellington and leave Kenny, then Kenny will give Clementine his hat for AJ to wear when he's older, and he will take the bag of supplies, he will turn the opposite direction, and he will walk forward, and that's the last that we see of Kenny. If Clementine decides to go with Jane, then 9 days later they'll arrive at Howe's Hardware. Once Clementine and Jane are there for a little bit, they get approached by a family asking if they can come in. You can then either let the family in or you can reject them.
Come in.
Thank you.
Around the side.
Please.
Leave.
What?
You heard me. Now.
Please. Don't do this.
Are you sure you want to do this, little girl? I mean, what if we're dangerous?
What if I am?
Season 3 is not all that important to Clementine's story as it revolves around Javier Garcia and his family. So instead of what I did for Season 2 where I showed the couple different choices, I'm just going to go over what happens to Clementine very briefly in Season 3. Season 3 did fans of both Kenny and Jane dirty because they will both end up dying. If you decide to stay with Kenny, while Kenny is teaching Clementine how to drive, they get into a car accident. Kenny goes flying through the windshield and is paralyzed from the waist down and is then eaten by walkers as like a last ditch effort to sacrifice himself so that Clementine and AJ can get away.
Shit. Help me up. I don't feel anything.
That's good.
No, Clem, I don't feel anything. I can't feel my legs. I just can't get up.
Well, I can get you into the car.
I don't... Shit! This ain't gonna work, Clem. Hey! Hey! Stay away from him! You gotta go help AJ, Clem. I ain't letting you watch those fuckers chew me up. Go, Clem!
AJ will be safe with me. I'll take great care of him. I promise.
I know you will, Clementine. I wouldn't trust AJ with anybody else. Now, go! Hey, dipshits! Come and get it!
AJ, come on!
As for fans of Jane and players who went with her, it turns out that Jane commits suicide after finding out that she's pregnant. And as for players who decided to stay at Wellington and go with Edith, Wellington ends up getting raided, and in the process of Edith and Clementine trying to escape, Edith gets shot in the back of the head and is killed.
No! Okay, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Wrapping up A New Frontier, it shows Clementine arriving at McCarroll Ranch where she has to fight through everybody there, and she finds AJ, rescues him, and that brings us to Season 4.
No, no, I won't let you take it. AJ. It's me, Clem. Let's get you out of here, okay?
In the final season, Clementine and AJ are a little bit older than they were last time, with Clementine being 17 and AJ being 5, as opposed to Clementine being 15 and AJ being 3 during the events of the McCarroll Ranch. The final season is all about finding a new, safe, hopefully permanent home, which is found at
Erickson's boarding school for troubled youth.
Erickson's is run by all teenagers because all the teachers left the students abandoned at the school when the outbreak began. During the season, we meet Lily from Season 1. She's the leader of a community known as the Delta who is kidnapping children and making child soldiers. After a few more run-ins with Lily and the Delta, she's either shot and killed by AJ or she's spared.
Lower the gun, AJ. Okay. James! No!
During a fight with Minerva, which is one of the Erickson's kids who Lily had kidnapped then brainwashed, Clementine gets her leg sliced open with a fire axe. Skipping forward ahead, this injury on Clem's leg is starting to slow her down because of how serious it is, and while escaping a group of walkers, it happens.
Clem! Your leg!
I got bit.
Clementine knows that with her being bitten, her time is limited and she has to get herself and AJ out of here and somewhere safe, so she tells herself to just keep moving forward.
Keep moving. Forward. Forward.
Skipping forward a good chunk, eventually Clementine gets too weak and they get trapped in a barn, and Clementine is stuck and she cannot move, much how Lee was at the end of episode 5, season 1. AJ and Clementine worked together as a team to kill all the walkers and make sure the barn was safe. So, with the barn safe, Clementine tells AJ there's only one thing he can do now, and that's to kill her so that she doesn't come back as a walker.
Are you gonna make me say it? Fine. AJ, you have to kill me. Don't let me become one of them. Be a good boy. Kill me.
After Clementine tells AJ to kill her, the heart-wrenching scene of the axe swinging towards Clementine's head, and then it fades to black. Sometime later, AJ returns back to Erickson's, and that's when we hear a familiar voice.
What you doing there, goofball? Whoa, easy there.
Clementine, she's alive. It appears that AJ had amputated the leg that she got bitten instead of killing her, and you could ask any player of the series and they would most likely say that is the best choice that he could have made. AJ gives back Clementine her hat, which she lost at the beginning of episode 4, but she says that he can keep it.
It's definitely seen better days. You know what? You keep it if you want it. I'll put it in our room.
AJ accepts to keep Clementine's hat, and she pushes him on a tire swing, and then after that, Clementine's story is over. There was a book that came out in June, but it was universally hated. I'm not going to go on a rant right now, but it did not follow how Clementine would have acted at this point because she pretty much left AJ behind. So this is where I say that Clementine's story ends, with everyone safe and happy. Last thing, I'm still working on my full review of Season 1, so stay tuned for that. It's almost complete. If you'd like this video and would like to see more, please consider hitting the subscribe button and liking the video. If you're interested, I did another video just like this on Lee Everett and why he's gaming's greatest protagonist. I would just like to say thank you for 984 subscribers. I never thought I'd reach this moment. I was originally going to say 830, but in the past few days, I've somehow managed to get an additional 150, which just blows my mind. So thank you so much. And on that note, that's me, signing off.